Hey, it's Pierre. I'm doing a quick roundup of some squash insoles. Well, they're just insoles to put in your squash shoes for additional cushioning. I've been testing out a few things and wanted to give you a little bit of feedback and also just generate some discussion if people have other suggestions. I also have some coming in the mail that I'm going to try, but I wanted to start out talking about the ones I've already used and giving my feedback. So, first of all, here's my regular, well, this is a Salming pair of insoles. This is the standard kind, and it's really hard to tell on this video, but I am pinching about where my heel is. You know, these got used into the ground. Up over here, it's maybe about that thick by the front where I'm doing less pounding. By the heel, it's gotten down to about that thick. It's really wears down, and usually that's fine. Sometimes my ankles and my heel hurt, and most of the time I'm okay. I don't pound on my feet too hard, but one day I just decided to try some different insoles for kicks and also just to see if there was any improvement. Actually, these I tried when I had hurt. I'd kind of broken a bone in the ball of my foot, and how did I do that? I can't even remember how I did it. It was a couple years ago. It was sort of this random bone in the ball of your foot, and there's not a whole lot you can do except have surgery to remove it, but it only hurts a little bit. So it hurt the most when I was pressing on the gas pedal in my car. So it's kind of fine now over the years. It's just sort of, I don't know what's going on in there, but it feels better. Anyway, I tried out these Shock Doctors Court version back then to try and give myself a little padding when I was playing squash, just to kind of avoid stressing that spot. What I probably should have done was cut out a little bit on the ball of the foot here, or wherever it would have been, to give it a little indentation to sit in so that it wasn't pushing down hard when I would slap my foot on the floor. Anyway, bottom line on these Court Doctors, Shock Doctors, is they're too stiff for me. They're just, it just felt like I had a brick in my shoe. So I didn't really go for these too much. It's, you know, everyone's foot is different. I just want to throw some brands out. Maybe this will appeal to someone. Maybe someone will like it. But I tried these and they were too stiff for me. One I had better luck with was called Superfeet. Thanks to Ed for the suggestion to try these out. And these were a little bit, these have they're thinner in the front. It's quite thin, even thinner than a Salming, really. Oh, by the way, on the Salming, well, I've got them on my feet, so I can't really show you. You just take that regular insole out and you just slide this in instead. At least that's what I did. And so this is pretty thin up here, but here back in the heel, which is where if I want cushioning, that's where I want it. It's got this hard plastic thingy, and got some holes in it, I guess, for breathability. Right, so these are by Superfeet. I can't remember the exact model of this. I'll put it in the video, maybe here or on the Squash Source, if I can find it in my order history on Amazon. I bought these. So these were better. The problem, these gave me cushioning. I was just testing them out, not because I needed them, but just because I wanted to test them out. And I played with them for several weeks, maybe even a couple months. And I was like, all right, I'm done. I'm going to do a review. And I went back to my regular insoles. This was a while ago. I went back to my regular ones, and because I thought, okay, I know enough to do a review. And my knees didn't like to switch back to the regular, so I put these back in. This was when I was using my previous version of shoes that had gotten I'd used them for several months. So these did help my knees, and when I took them out, I felt the difference. I wanted these back. So that was a plus in their corner, the Superfeets. The drawbacks of these were that they slid a little bit inside the shoe. I can't remember if I ordered the exact right size, or maybe if I were doing this again, I would get one size bigger and cut it to perfectly match the inside of the shoe. But I could feel my feet moving a little bit and not quite perfectly, these weren't quite perfectly stable inside the shoe. It wasn't very often that I felt that, but sometimes I would lunge for a ball and just that little give was a little bit, you know, it's not a great feeling. So when I got a new pair of shoes, I stopped using these. Now I'm using these Salming adders at the moment. I'm just using the regular Salming insole. But this is something I might go back to. I'm going to save these, and I'm also going to try out some other ones. If you have any that you use, feel free to leave a comment on Squash Source, and I'm going to be trying out a couple other brands as well, and I'll do a follow-up video on that later. All right, thanks a lot.